Hey Mo,
Hey, Ricky.
how are you?
You know what? I am so thankful on this Woosah Wellness Hump Day, whatever day you call it. It's a day of giving thanks for so many things, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to have this show and this platform, and for the amazing stories that everybody's about to hear. I mean, we could do 2 hours, we could do week after week on these folks, but
Good.
it's the day before Thanksgiving. How are
It
you?
is. I'm great, and the doctor is in. We didn't even
The
say that.
doctor is.
Doctor is
We
in
are.
there for Thanksgiving. I've been cooking all day because my mom, I had made all these plans to go out to dinner. The whole family was going to go out to dinner, and so my mom's like, I'm 88. This could be my last Thanksgiving. I really want you to cook. So what I do? What are you gonna do? Right. So
You
I'm
got to
cooking.
do it. You
I
got to
did.
do. I'll be cooking all night. I had office hours and surgery and ran home, and then I'll be cooking all night, and it's worth it just to see the smiles on my family's face, and
Yeah,
yeah, and I got to go to work the next day too. But it's all good because we have
all
so much
good.
to be thankful for. We're so
So much to be
blessed.
thankful for. So blessed, so blessed, so blessed. So look at all these beautiful, beautiful, glorious faces we have on our screen today.
I
I'm
love it.
so excited. I love this show because, we need to be in the community. And you know how I always say that I want us to be where Black women live, work, play, and pray. And these women are right there, where the rubber meets the road, where women are getting sick, where women don't have resources, where women don't even understand breast cancer. They get a diagnosis and they have no clue what to do, where to go, how to do it. And so these women are touching lives every day in the most meaningful ways possible, and bringing stuff, joy, information, resources, food, whatever they need in every way, mammograms. And so
Rides, you name it. That's right.
yeah, everything. So we're so grateful to have them in our touch family, and to be, just to be friends with them and to have them in our world. And we just wanted to give them some love today because, Giving Tuesday is next week. You're going to have Black Friday and Cyber Saturday and whatever we spend all your money. So save some money for Giving Tuesday. We're going to give you all of their information so you can give money to these awesome organizations and really make your money go where it's going to be used. You can trust that it's going to be used in the best ways to help our community and to help our breasties. So
It's
that's what this
true.
show is all about. And we want to just give them a voice on our little platform that we have, that we're so blessed to have, and let them do their thing and talk to you guys about what they do and how they do it and who they touch. And it's just so awesome to have them. I'm so happy, you guys. I love you
Yeah.
much.
Everything that you just said, I ditto, I echo it. We're grateful for you all. And so many times people always wonder, well, where's my donation going? And they make these charitable donations, and they never see them. They go to operational expenses and other things. But resources here are for the patients, they're for the breasties, they're for the loved ones. And each organization focuses on something a little bit different too. And this is what I like. There isn't redundancy because there's so much need. And there's so many interesting and wonderful facets that we're focused on. So we're going to let them introduce themselves. Yes?
Yeah, I think we should go around, let everybody introduce themselves so you kind of see the landscape, and then we'll go back one by one, and everybody's going to talk about their deal. Okay.
Awesome.
So
So just a quick
Tallulah, go
intro.
first.
Yep.
Yeah, Tallulah, just quick intros. Go Tallulah.
Hello, everyone. Tallulah Anderson, two for two boobs, and glad to be here. Do you want me to say more about it, or are you going to come back around?
We'll come back around.
Okay.
Ramia.
Hi, I'm Ramia Henderson. I'm the Executive Director of Runway 4 Cure DC and fashion stylist, The Rebirth of Style.
Thelma.
Hi, I'm Thelma D. Jones, founder of the Thelma D. Jones Breast Cancer Fund in Washington, D.C.
Tia.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tia Tomlin. I'm the co-founder, Tia Tomlin Harris. I just got married, so I'm still working on that last name piece. Tia Tomlin Harris, co-founder of My Style Matters. We're based in Atlanta, Georgia.
Where they had a great day today. Great
Yes,
day today.
absolutely.
Thank God, right? Thank God. Barbara.
Barbara Pullen Smith with Sister to Sister Alliance based out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Glad to be here. A 6-year breast cancer survivor. Praise God.
God. Levita.
Hi, everybody. I am Levita Jackson. I'm sitting in for founder Sharon Rivera of Saving Pennies for a Cure in
Awesome.
Richmond,
Josie,
Virginia.
great. Josie,
Hi, I'm Josie Holloman Adams. I am the president of the Erica J. Holloman Foundation for the Awareness of Triple Negative Breast Cancer, and I am in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Kim,
Hi, everyone. I'm Kim Harris. I'm the CEO and founder of the Virtuous Women Project in Easton, Maryland.
awesome. And Val's Val's our co-founder. She's here with Barbara.
Yes, but Barbara and I and 5 other wonderful women went together, decided to start Sisters to Sister Alliance, and I'm really excited to represent the other 5. And Barbara and I are gonna just share the good things that they're doing in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay. Great. So we're trying to represent, right? Right.
Yes,
So who wants to go first and tell their story?
Yeah, I
How
want to
about-
know, how did you get here and what did your organization, how did you come up with the idea for it? What's it all about? So what do we start with, Levita, on the top of the screen? If you're looking at Facebook,
Yeah.
you'll see kind of the way it's laid out. We'll go in that order.
Okay, I am, as I said earlier, I'm filling in for Sharon, and Saving Pennies for a Cure is an organization that supports patients going through chemotherapy by providing packages, personal care packages that are presented to these people during chemotherapy. In those packages, there are items that persons going through chemotherapy would need, such as a mouthwash, just general essential things that you would need during chemotherapy. Also, there is a annual blanket drive that Sharon does every year. It's already kicked off on November 30th, and it's going on right now, where they are also collecting blankets to give to patients during chemotherapy. And that's a big help to patients as they do that. So, yeah.
Josie, we had you on the show. I want you to tell us a little bit more about the story and what your organization is doing for women.
So the Erica J. Holloman Foundation for the Awareness of Triple Negative Breast Cancer started because my daughter Erica had triple negative breast cancer. She didn't know, we didn't know, never heard of a subtype. So we didn't know that that existed. She was an educator. So one of the things that we have done is focused on college students. We do various things. We'll go anywhere, talk to anybody about triple negative breast cancer because we need to know, and young women are dying from this. The doctors really get short of saying, okay, you might die from this. But when she first got diagnosed, there may have been Ricky, 2 paragraphs, doc, two sentences about triple negative.
On Google, right?
Yeah,
Nothing.
so now there's more information, but there's so many people that still have never heard of triple negative breast cancer. So what we did started at North Carolina A&T, and this you guys had young ladies on last week that talked about being on college campuses and talking about triple negative breast cancer. So one of the things that we did back in 2017, North Carolina A&T has a health fair every year. And they also have a Dr. Rory, a professor there who is focusing on triple negative breast cancer. He's doing some research. So they had a health fair. We had our person that's in Greensboro go to the health fair, a young ambassador for the foundation, and the outcome was a success. We had more boys, young men that came to the table than women. And when the women saw that the boys were coming over, or the young men, they came over. So what we did was we started with a package. In this package, you get one of these t-shirts and it says college students against triple negative breast cancer. And you get the t-shirt, you get information about triple negative breast cancer and the Erica J. Holloman Foundation. And you get a message to say on October the 2nd, which was Erica's original diagnosis date, to post this on social media. So that started there. At the same time, we were here in Cincinnati at the University of Cincinnati, and there is a scholarship for Black students. And we went to one of their classes, it was 250 students in that class. Every one of them had on a college student against triple negative breast cancer t-shirt. So
Wow.
we've gotten 15 colleges. Of those 15, I think 6 are Black colleges, HBCUs. And we have someone there, they wear the t-shirts to support college students against triple negative breast cancer, and they post on social media. So we actually put boots on the ground to get this thing started. And we have been as far as Paris, where somebody has worn the t-shirts when they were in Paris. And so we're getting the word out. And like I said, we will go anywhere. So that's one of our major things. And of course, that takes funding because these t-shirts aren't free. The information that we're putting in a package is not free. So we are, we need support for that kind of thing. If a young person learns something new, they're going to teach their peers and they're going to go home and teach their family. So that's how we're getting awareness with the college students. We got a lot more things we do, like we do a bra drive every year. And to date, we've donated over 6,000 brand new bras to back to work programs, disaster relief areas, underserved women. And when everything that we do, we put something on there about triple negative breast cancer, because each one of those bras have a hand stitched ribbon that says "Smiling for Erica," and before we donate it. So we're trying to make awareness about this deadly disease that's killing us more than it's killing anybody else. And, and I hear a couple of the women that are starting sister to sister networks. The next thing we want to do for the future is have a support group, because there's so many women calling me. I'm a caregiver. I'm not a survivor. I've never had breast cancer. So I'm trying to match these women up, and I need help with that because, I'm coming from the other side of this thing. That's a little bit about us.
Awesome.
Kim Harris.
Awesome. Kim.
Hi, again, I'm Kim Harris. I'm the CEO and founder of the Virtuous Women Project. We are a 501c3. We provide scholarships for female high school students who wish to attend college, as well as help the needs of the community. What I mean by helping to meet the needs in the community is one of the things that we do, which we held back in October, is we hold a 5K walk, 10K run. It's in honor of breast cancer, something near and dear to my heart because both of my father's sisters both had breast cancer. One we actually lost, but the other one was affected where she had to have a double mastectomy. And so this walk was awesome this year because we actually had survivors come in and talk about their story. And so our goal now is to make sure that we're getting the word out, however we're able to do that. Some of the other things that we've done is we've partnered with other organizations to provide school supplies for those teachers who are now back in transition. Those teachers who are doing in-person learning are in desperate need of school supplies. And so we partnered with another organization to provide school supplies for 2 schools. We actually serve the Anne Arundel County community because that's where I'm from. I always want to make sure that I'm giving back to my community. And then I live here in Talbot County. So we serve in Talbot County and Anne Arundel County for scholarships and to help, meet whatever needs need to be met within the community. In addition to the walk, we also hold a golf tournament every year. That is in honor of my dad who had lymphoma. And so both of our major events are both tied to causes. And with my dad having lymphoma, we kind of get information out on lymphoma doing the golf tournament. So I'm really excited about working with Ricky and some of the other Breasties. Again, I'm on the other side of it, but I have a strong connection to it because of both of my dad's sisters. So and I'm really excited about being a part of this group tonight. Thank you for having me.
And Kim's in Maryland. When she talked about the county, she's in Maryland, not too far from me. Great. Barbara?
Again, good evening, everyone. Barbara Pullen-Smith, and I'm one of the 7 founding members for Sister to Sister Alliance out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And we really literally just launched our organization last month, October 2021. But we've hit the ground running. I mean, we have a big vision, we have a big mission. We really are set up to equip and empower and educate Black women to action. We talk a lot, but let's get into action. And so I'll just share a couple of the ways that we've hit the ground running already. And one certainly speaks to what Josie was just talking about, and that is we have a partnership with one of the HBCUs here in Raleigh, St. Augustine's University. And so did an event with the students on campus, because again, just like she was saying, we understand that number one, breast cancer impacts families. And we need to make sure that our young people not only understand about that awareness for themselves, but also that they can be advocates for their parents and their aunties and their grandmas, and so that it's this generation speaking that there is hope, there's help. Let's take action around that. And the last thing that I'll mention is about if you go to our website, which of course is sistertosisteralliance.com, and that's a T-O, not a number 2, sisteralliance.com. You'll see that we have on there a free that you can download a resource, a list for breast cancer resources. And so that anyone can go and just have access to those tools, because again, it's not just about us talking about it. We got to put things in people's hands that people can use to take action. So I'll yield to Valerie, a great visionary, to kind of share some more thoughts about what we're about with Sister to Sister Alliance.
So thank you, Barbara. But let me say this. Now I have to put in a personal plug for Barbara. She has when I say a history of fighting for us in North Carolina. She directed the Office of Minority Health and Health Disparities. That was huge. And so honestly, all of us stand on the shoulders of Barbara Pullen-Smith, because had she not fought for us, many of the African-American organizations in Raleigh and Durham, we would have been overlooked. So nationally, Barbara, I want to say thank you. Because of you, I was able to go out and help a lot of organizations in North Carolina get started, and especially support groups. And believe it or not, Dr. Mo, you know this, breast cancer is still a stigma in the African-American community. So people that are diagnosed don't feel comfortable talking about breast cancer a lot, and especially the people that don't know anything about breast cancer. So when I was diagnosed some 22 years ago, white women talked to me because the Black women wouldn't. And those that did whispered in my ear, I had that. They wouldn't even say the word breast cancer. Mm-hmm. So needless to say, support groups are vital to us. People want to know that they can come into an environment and someone can finish their sentences and they don't have to over-explain themselves. So one of the things that I am really interested in is going up and down our East Coast. So we have a lot of rural areas in North Carolina, but I'm sure every state has that. But these women have no outlet. And so how do we get their voice heard, and how do they feel comfortable and validated? Well, a lot of times this is done through a support group. And right. So I am really excited about getting women together so that they feel as if their voice is heard, they are validated, and someone understands them. And so we're really excited about being able to do this for Sister Sister Alliance on a virtual platform right now. And of course, Ricky and I do this the first Saturday every month. But people need to know that they have a place where they feel comfortable, and people look like them and people talk like them. And so I'm really excited. And I think it was Josie, you said something about requests for support groups. Just let me know, girl. I'll go anywhere helping people to get together, talk. I think when you look at data about social support, it really does help with outcomes. It really does make a difference in the lives of not only the survivor, but the caregiver as well. They're able to communicate a little bit better because they have other people that are helping them and coaching them. So
Right.
we're just excited about that kind of work.
I will be calling you.
Okay.
And I'm putting our Touch Talk info in the chat. I've also put all of you guys' websites in the comments, okay?
You guys are getting so much love right now. Let me just tell you, people are like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm loving this. This is a stellar group of warrior women. These organizations sound amazing. Reach and teach our people. Y'all getting a lot of love. So we love it. Let's keep going with Miss Thelma. Did you get a chance to talk yet?
Oh, no. And thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this great circle of women with so much love and resources and interest in helping to change the paradigm shift around Black women and breast cancer. I am also so delighted to hear all of the great things about support groups. The Thelma D. Jones Breast Cancer Fund started a breast cancer support group in 2010. And in 2012, we became a full-fledged all volunteer. We're an all volunteer organization with no paid staff. The Thelma D. Jones Breast Cancer Fund originated out of my diagnosis as a late stage 3B, rare and aggressive form, and HER2 positive. And I was frightened to death when I found a lump beneath my arm and then waited. This was in September 2006. I was busy going away, going abroad. So I said, I'll deal with this when I return. I returned and went away on a second trip abroad. And I would subsequently do several trips, two of which was to my home state of North Carolina. So a shout out to the women in North Carolina, and I hope we will connect. And it was March of 2007 before I had this checked out, to only learn that I had a late stage 3B. I had different reports in the diagnosis. I had 3 diagnoses before I had 3 opinions before I allowed them to cut on me. So this is a story truly about early detection saves lives. And that is the message that the Thelma D. Jones Breast Cancer Fund promotes. Our mission is to help to improve the health and wellness, overall health and wellness of men, women, and young girls. And we do this through outreach, education, and prevention. And our support group is making a tremendous impact. We've been recognized nationally more than 9 times because each month since April 2010, with the exception of 1 month, we have brought together a wonderful group of people to talk about everything from early detection, prevention, through the continuum of care and through the end stage of life, and including caregivers. So we give our audience a voice to speak and share what's on their mind, because we strongly believe that no one should travel their journey alone. And in this forum, women get to speak, they get to ask questions, and we have some of the best, I mean the best, if I must say so myself, the best speakers in the country to share. And the fact that and just one example of our speakers is Dr. Lucille Adams Campbell. Many of you may not know that she's the first African-American woman in this country to get a PhD in epidemiology. She's like a friend and a mentor to me. So those are the quality caliber of speakers that we have each month. Our meetings occur the 3rd Wednesdays at 6 p.m. via Zoom. And while the pandemic has brought many challenges, being able to reach survivors and their family throughout the world. We have had peoples and speakers from Spain, Mexico, Dayton, Ohio, Florida, New York, California, and places in between. We wouldn't have been able to have this reach had it not been for Zoom. And we're still waiting for you and Ricky to come on as soon as we can fit your busy schedule into our schedule, or just create a date for you. But in addition to that, some of the things that we are doing to make an impact is there is patient navigation that is part of the Thelma D. Jones breast cancer. I was trained through Smith Center extensively in patient navigation work. And I'm working with a young lady now who is both triple negative and metastatic. And there's a number of triple negative women that I am working with. We are also pleased to reach out to the seniors in our area. As you know, being born a female and growing older are two of the greatest risk factors of getting breast cancer, even though we well know that breast cancer is hitting our Black sisters, mothers, nieces at a much earlier stage. But we have been distributing meals to the seniors and immune compromised to help prevent them from venturing out, increasing their risk of developing COVID-19. It also helps to ensure that they are getting healthy meals, and it's helping to break the circle of isolation because many of the seniors are just held up in their places. As of March 2020, we have distributed more than 17,600 healthy meals here in the area in Washington, D.C., particularly in Southwest D.C. And we have distributed more than 100 drops of fresh produce, farm raised, some of the best produce that I think is like the produce that my parents used to raise in the garden in Snow Hill, North Carolina. We are also working on a number of grants on breast cancer screening, adherence, genetic counseling and testing, self-acupuncture, and these are all grants with Georgetown Lombardi, and I'm pleased that we're working on a grant with the Virginia Commonwealth Massey Center on being trained as a coach to work with newly diagnosed women. And lastly, we just launched a website through a Georgetown grant working on the impact of COVID-19 in African-American and Latino women. We held our first support group in the history of probably a lot of organizations that's working together, where the Latin American women and African American women came together to look at the impact of COVID-19. And I'll try and get that website to you so that you can see it. It's an absolutely wonderful website, if I must say so myself, talking about the impact.
Let me jump in here and ask you, did you say self-acupuncture, ma'am?
Yes, that's correct.
I love it. We're going to circle back to that one.
Yeah, no, actually, let me correct that. Self-acupressure, which is a little bit different than acupuncture.
But no less important in the fight. So thank you for sharing all of that. I mean, this is some exciting work. And yeah, let's keep going, because we got a couple more folks we're gonna get to, and then I have some questions for everybody, because I wanna dive into it deeper.
Yeah, and Mo, Thelma sends our flyer out every week. Every time I email something, she sends it to her listserv, and I don't even know how many people you reach, but I think you reach more than we do, girl.
Probably.
Right?
There's more than 1,600 people on our list.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Every week she does that for us. So
wow.
Thank you.
So Ramia.
Hello, good evening, everyone. First of all, I'm so honored to be on the panel such as this with so many women who represent so many different types of organizations across the range of, education, promotion of early screening, exercise, like all the different programs that everyone has shared so far. I am not too far from the ladies that are in Raleigh. I am visiting family down here in South Carolina, and we'll be going up to Cary, North Carolina pretty soon. So shout out to everyone who's in the more southern part of the Eastern Coast. So my name is Ramia Henderson. I am the executive director of Runway for a Cure DC. I am also a fashion designer who shows in that fashion show every year under the name of The Rebirth of Style. I am also a board member at Breast Care for Washington, DC, which is in Southwest DC. It is one of the first and only 3D mammography facilities in the area. And the reason why I got started was, I saw, my friends, aunts, family members being affected by breast cancer. My father had prostate cancer himself. And so I was trying to look for a way on how can I take my fashion sense and my fashion passion and marry that with a cause related to cancer and education and awareness. And so out was born Runway for a Cure DC about 5 years ago. Have a couple of ladies here on the panel who so graciously show their beauty in my show every year, probably for the last 2 or 3 years. We have survivors who walk in our fashion show. We have non-models who walk in our fashion show. And I can tell you that most of the designers and models and vendors and everyone who's involved, they get involved because they have someone in their family, a loved one, a wife, an aunt, a grandmother, an uncle, men, an uncle, someone who was affected by breast cancer, and they want to just be a part of something and bring their talents to the table during our annual fashion show. And so we do that, in honor of people who have gone on, and we do it in honor of the women and men who participate in our fashion show every year. We have, lymphoma cancer survivors, we have colon cancer survivors, and of course, breast cancer survivors, which is our focus. And what we do out of the labor of love of our show is we donate to pay for the mammograms of women and men who are uninsured. And we do that with Breast Care for Washington for the last 5 years. And, the second year of the show, someone came to me from BCW to ask if I would be a part of the organization by joining their board. And I was like, yes. So I've taken my talents a little bit further by being involved in that way. And, the support group that has been born out of the fashion show, and Ricky and Tallulah can attest to this. We have survivors who come to the show who are newly diagnosed, or they've been diagnosed and fighting by themselves for a really long time, and they don't have anyone to talk to. And their families may not understand, or their friends don't understand. And I think maybe Valerie, it was you who were talking about just having a support group of someone who looks like you, who talks like you, who's been through the same, types of experience of, being told, oh no, you're too young, you're less than 40, that of course you can't have it, or, oh no, you don't need to get screened, or, no one's asking the questions about, things in your family, or hereditary things that might be impacting your treatment, or how you just go about being really vigilant in your own self-care. Those women are participating in our fashion show every year, and they bring on they bring such a warmth to the people who may have been newly diagnosed, who kind of need just someone to be like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. And she is surviving and thriving. And she looks beautiful in that dress. She looks beautiful in that, whatever kind of outfits that the designers are making for our participants. And they see beauty where they may not have seen beauty before being a part of the show. And so I try to bring that to everyone who's involved. And we have, younger women who are involved in 20s, 30s, 40s, who are now seeing, women who are almost 60, in their 60s, 50s, 40s, who are survivors. And they're like, oh, they're knowing more about, self-checks, 2 for 2 boobs, check your 2. They're knowing more about self-awareness and getting their mammograms every year. They're maybe even asking questions of their families about, did my aunt, what in my family history should I be asking about? And it's like conversations that we have backstage. Like, they're having these conversations unbeknownst to me. I have no idea that they're going on, but people are having like little pockets of conversations backstage at our fashion show. And what I see after the fashion show are like all these little pockets of friendships that are growing outside of our show. And that's what I'm here for.
That's community. That's right.
It's incredible. Like it's a whole like support thing happening backstage. Plus, it's an incredible ego boost, for an old person like me to do this fashion show. It's so much fun. But she has really created a loving, supportive community where it's, education. And when she's talking about BCW, she's talking about Regina's clinic. Mo.
Yep, I know. And fill the gap, because you're right in that we don't see enough of ourselves, right? When you look at the face of breast cancer, the face of fashion, the face of lots of things, the faces don't always look like ours. And so that work fills a vital space for so many of all ages, all body types, all shapes, all stages, all walks of life and wellness and in their cancer survivorship. So thank you for that, boy.
And making them feel good and look good.
That's right. Using those time, talents, and treasures. All right, who's up next?
And if you could see Miss Tallulah in this fashion show, oh my
Honey, God. I have seen the pictures.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Julia Copeland is in the audience. She's in the chat too, and she's chiming in. I have seen the fashion. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. I'm shouting you out, Julia. We love you.
Yeah, and you should see her pictures. Oh my gosh, check out her Instagram.
Tallulah, you up next.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Again, Tallulah Anderson. I didn't say in the beginning that I'm the founder and CEO of 2 for 2 Boobs, which is an acronym for Take 2 Minutes to Check Your 2. You don't have 2, check your 1, or you don't have anything, just check. I started 2 for 2 Boobs many moons ago when I was a little after I was first diagnosed with breast cancer. So I'm a 3-time survivor, and the last time I was diagnosed was 7.5 years ago. So I've been thriving since. And I started 2 for 2 Boobs again as a call out to, take that awareness to action, right? You have to move and you have to do something. My background was working for BET for many years in marketing and advertising. And I knew that once I got through my treatments, even the first time, I had BET support me for what I wanted to do. So I'm about creating creative survivorship events to connect, right? We're a connecting organization that is about helping to save Black lives from breast cancer by educating, engaging, and empowering women, men, and teens to know their risk and preventive factors, address barriers and disparities, and to allow for managing their health proactively for better outcomes. And that's for survivors as well, because again, I'm 3 times, so I had a reoccurrence, right? So you have to keep checking yourself, and you have to know your family history. For me, I have genetic breast cancer. So my mom and my dad both had breast cancer. And several other of my siblings have been diagnosed. I discovered my breast cancer by doing self-checks. So that's why, for me, it's important to learn how to do that and to do it. And that's why I'm always saying, take 2 minutes to check your 2. I provide education for teens, young adults, men, and the underserved. I'm excited to develop now workshops and information and to speak. I've spoken at the beautiful Thelma Jones events. She's called me up. I've been in the fashion show, and I'm the one in the back asking all the questions. And from the fashion show, I met some fabulous women who I decided I was going to produce a play so that they could tell their stories. Because for me, it's about story. Our stories are powerful, right? And they're healing for us to tell. And Ricky was in my play, and then I, joined some other things and got into the advocacy on the other side and got connected to Tia and, some other women on this on this show as well. I also was trained as a group facilitator when I first started out for an organization in Virginia that's no longer in existence, but it was at Southern Maryland Hospital. And I didn't mention I'm in the Washington, D.C. area as well, but I live in Prince George's County, which is predominantly Black county, right? And with a lot of the gentrification going on in DC, we're having a lot of people move into the county. And what hasn't been mentioned yet, in Ward 7 and 8, that they have the highest deaths of young women from breast cancer. And as they're moving into the county, there's a need for an organization here, right? And so I pride myself of building collaborations and partnerships to extend what I do, not just here, but beyond. So I'm excited about this conversation because, people see my hashtag, grassroots organizations matter too. And I'm just about collaborating and making some things happen and let the love sprinkle on down from the top. We're on the top, on the ground, but we need support and we need to be acknowledged for all that we do. So I could go on and on, but I'm gonna be quiet and let other people talk.
I'm putting that in the chat. I'm putting that hashtag in the chat right there. There it is. Wow.
But again, I do have Survive to Thrive programs, and we've supported survivors and patients. We send out what we call our Comfort to Care boxes to make you smile. So you'll have some comfort and care, but you're going to have some things in there like some pink popcorn and some other things just to, bring a smile hopefully to your face, right? We've been able over the past 2 years to distribute over 30 boxes. And also we are able to provide and connect to financial help as well as those barriers that some of our patients or survivors may be going through that directly because of social determinants. And so I look at ways as to how I can help. So when they're getting that box, they're getting information about insurance, right? Knowing their rights, right? And connecting where they live. I'm giving them a list of who's in that area, as well as I just started a pink library. So I've been buying books written by survivors or written about survivors so that I can do a book exchange or send out to someone in need or uplifting. Because when I talk to somebody, I'm hearing where they're at and I'm giving them what they need, not what I think they need. So I'm excited about a lot of things about to happen for our organization, but I just want to say, everyone here, I'm already taking notes of how I can help or how we can work together. So I'm excited to be.
That library idea is, it is just
Right.
So important because you see in the message where people say, I need a book to tell my kids about chemotherapy.
Right.
How did I talk to my
Right.
family about this?
Right, I
What can
hear.
I do about that? Are there any authors in the group? So you putting that thing together, I mean, I just see that amplifying and being an exchange all
Yeah.
across the country, right? I mean, honestly, that's
And I'm reviewing the book. A friend of mine is a librarian, and she was like talking to me and was like, you should really do that. So we're cataloging, and that's coming real soon. So I'm excited.
Oh, that's really great, Tula. That's awesome. Awesome. She also does an incredible line dancing party. And
I get creative.
so much fun, so much fun. And then she also does like a breakfast party. I took Belle and Leia to her breakfast party, and we had pink beignets. And so she does it all, but she's out there in the community working, just working, showing up.
beautiful. Last but not least,
Yeah.
not at all least, we got to get to Miss Tia Tomlin Harris, Harris. Don't forget the hyphen.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
First of all, I want to just say thank you so much, Ricky and Dr. Mo, for having us on here. Looking at everyone's faces, this just warms my heart because when I was going through, this is what I was looking for and I couldn't find it. And, God put on my heart to start something myself. You couldn't find it, you be the one to start. And so I was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer in 2015. And, going through the journey, I just saw so many gaps in supportive services. And I will be, honest, I didn't want to go the conventional route in the beginning. I just didn't know enough to, do anything else. The three things that I did know to do, because I knew that it wasn't, in my family, cancer didn't run in my family, if you will. I didn't have a genetic mutation, but I bought a Vitamix, I bought a Omega juicer, and I got a box, and I took everything in my home and I got rid of everything because I knew there were some environmental factors. And I always ask the question, are you feeding cancer or are you fighting it? And so our goal is really to help people to fight it. And what I like to do, or what we do is knowing that 4 in 10 cancer deaths and cancer is actually linked to modifiable risk. So our goal is really to support, educate, and motivate. We want to support people, help to educate them, motivate them, and activate them to make healthier choices so they can achieve optimal health and kick what I like to call cancer. Not cancer, but cancer. And the reason why I call it cancer is because what God showed me when I went through is when you put the cross in it, which is the T, that you can do all things through him, including kicking its butt. So
Amen.
we provide Kick Cancer kits. And what that is non-toxic care packages, everything in there from personal care items to household items, because we want to help people get kick started on making these lifestyle changes. We also provide food to fight boxes. So each person who's undergoing treatment, they get 5 weeks worth of nutritious produce. We partner with an organization here, a business here, small black-owned business here in Georgia, where they get food from the local farmers, and the food is actually delivered to them. So shout out to Eat Right Atlanta. We also have, yes,
Nicole. Nicole used to work for me.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, we give them these tools, we give them resources also. And the other piece that we did, and, we put it on pause, we're going to start it back up next year. But due to COVID, we had our Hope Wellness retreats. Because I can tell you things all day long, but I want to show you and give you that experience. And so we would take women and their caregivers away for a weekend to really give them a chance to experience what the healthy lifestyle is all about. We also have a sisterhood that I founded called My Breast Years Ahead. It's a sisterhood, and I call it the breast hood ever. We are actually over 550 strong women in Atlanta, in the greater Atlanta area, who all have been impacted by cancer, not just breast cancer. Majority of us are cancer, but my first young lady that I supported, she was 28 with cervical cancer. And both her and her mom were battling cancer at the same time. Her mom was 50 with metastatic breast cancer, and she was, had cervical cancer. And she used to say, after her mom passed, a few months before she passed, she used to always say, there's nothing for us. Everything is about pink, and I committed to her that I will make sure that other women are supported as well. Because, although our diseases are different, a lot of the underlying issues that we all face is the same. We also have a care companions program because oftentimes we forget about our caregivers. And so we do things for caregivers, and shout out to National Caregivers Month. We are honoring 10 caregivers. So if anybody who's watching and they want their caregivers to be honored, send in a message to us, tell us your caregiver story, and we'll send out a nice package to your caregiver. We also do cancer coaching because we know that that's necessary. We want to, give what we call hugs to the ladies, helping them under great stress is what we call hugs. And that's through our cancer coaching program. We offer financial support. As many of you mentioned, when we go through this journey, we hit financial toxicity. So we provide, it's not a whole lot because we are small grassroots, but we have helped with paying bills, utility assistance, as well as gas cards and or grocery cards. And then our education programs, we have our Breast Health Matters program where we want to transform generations because, cancer is going to be here for a while. We know that. And in order to help, how we see Indian disparities is really to transform the generations to help them be preventative or lowering their risk of being diagnosed with this disease. So our Breast Health Matters program is educating the young girls as well as their moms about breast health, breast cancer prevention. We highlight Black breast cancer. I mean, we just do a lot, and we make it interactive and we make it fun. We also have a program called Clean Beauty Matters because, Black women are the biggest spenders. And we don't realize that we have the highest body burden out of all of the women and all of the other groups of women. And so we really just educate women about making those healthier choices when it comes to the skincare products, the beauty products that we're using. We also have a Nutrition Matters program. And under that is so many different elements, but I'm actually going through a process now, getting certified as a plant-based instructor. So next year, check in with me. We'll be offering the plant-based education. We did one this year. It was a 5-week program where you actually are on with a instructor and you're really learning how to prepare food in a healthier way that's good and tasty for our palate, especially Black women. And we do speaking engagements, we do advocacy. And one of the biggest things we pride ourselves on is we recognize we can't do this alone. And we've partnered with organizations, 2 for 2 Boobs, Tallulah and I have partnered. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but we've done a lot of things together because we recognize, why duplicate effort, right? We're small grassroots. You have your niche, I have my niche. Let's come together and let's help women globally keep our costs down, but still be able to do the work that needs to be done. And so we truly believe in partnerships and, really just focusing in on that piece that where is a true gap specifically for Black women and the underserved community. So that's really, the things that we do at My Style Matters. And we're just looking forward to a great 2022. I want to say 2023, but 2022. I feel like I'm already in 2022.
I know we are.
It's been a heck of a 2 years. I have to tell you, I'm curious to know what challenges your organization has faced as a result of COVID. And then the second part of that question is, what opportunities have you had as a result of COVID? So somebody start off with just real quickly, a few minutes, what challenges your organization has had?
Well, I'll jump in since I was already kind of going down that path. The challenges we had to pivot, with the money's not coming in. We're all volunteer organizations. So we didn't qualify for any of the funding that came out because we don't have anyone on payroll. And the other part of that is a lot of the people that were helping us and supporting us, we lost them, not so much, due to death, but because, they had other priorities. Everyone's life had to change. People had to step into their families and things of that nature. So we lost a lot of the support in terms of just really, stepping in to help us. But the opportunities that presented itself is just, like I said, the partnership. I mean, we were already doing things because our sisterhood is already online. So we were already kind of one step ahead of the game. But just being able to partner with other organizations to have a bigger reach and to, find ways to, like I said, lower the cost, right? Being able to do those programs, and we can reach more and do more by partnering. So I would say those are the things that have impacted us with COVID, but money is still needed. Let's not get that piece twisted.
Right.
Funding is still needed. And we're streamlining our programs, especially for 2022, because the gap has gotten wider and the need has gotten greater.
And it has not gone away at all. It's gotten bigger,
I'll just piggyback on what Tia said, pivoting to that collaboration and partnering. And for us, again, it dried up. You know, I don't get big grants, right? Most of my funding comes from directly from donations, right? Individual donations, and maybe a couple of local or companies will have smaller grants that they give to us. But again, like Tia mentioned, it's just nobody on the payroll, so I didn't qualify for the other money coming down. So I had to be creative, of course, in this virtual space using that. But for me, it was pivoting and doing some stuff as far as outreach outside in a safe way. I knew I could do that. And as well as being able to kind of focus more on looking at those gaps or things that are missing, and try to pivot and be ready for when things do open up.
And for the Thelma D. Jones Breast Cancer Fund, sort of similarly, when the pandemic occurred, we instantly pivoted to a virtual format. We could reach more people throughout the world. But at the same time, our survivors love being face to face. There was an element of comfort and care being in the presence of each other, that you can essentially reach out and touch someone. But nevertheless, we can reach a broader audience being virtual. The other thing, it provided the Thelma D. Jones Breast Cancer Fund an opportunity to do a street ministry. So when we needed masks and sanitizers, my dog and I regularly walked the streets handing out masks and sanitizer. And I thought one of the beautiful things was one day when I saw a lady 4 or 5 blocks away, and she says, "I know you don't remember me, but you gave me a mask on the street one day and I still have." And I said, "Oh, thank you. Let me give you another one." So it's those kind of things. And then the opportunity to help the seniors.
That's great.
And our story is pretty much the same. For those of you who don't know, I live in Talbot County, which is on Maryland's Eastern Shore. I live in Easton, a very small town, very small knit town, but the support, as far as African American support, is very minimal. And so what this has allowed us to do, I actually left my job 2.5 years ago to give the nonprofit the attention that it really needed. And so while it's been a challenge, both from a personal standpoint financially, with COVID just dropping down on us, it made things even more difficult. But what we've been able to do despite the pandemic, last year when no one else was holding golf tournaments, we were able to go out and, still hold our tournaments. We did our first cancer walk last year. We had 50 people sign up. 8 of those were virtual. And then this year we were able to, do that same thing again. And so we've also gone into recovery homes for women, where we go in and give spiritual support and life skills to women who are trying to get reacclimated back into society. Some women have just walked fresh out of prison. And so we've had those types of opportunities that have given us the ability to get more involved in the community. So, while the financial side of it has, not been favorable, it has given us other avenues to get more involved in the community.
Josie, what were you going to say?
Example. So Runway for a Cure DC is basically a live event. And so with COVID, last year that was totally, totally not going to happen. So what I did is, during that time, because I wasn't able to fundraise as I normally did, I basically got behind my sewing machine and started sewing masks. And, the proceeds from that, I was able to help a breast cancer survivor basically avoid eviction from her rent. So, I'm I tried as best I could to raise funds through, of course, my gift, and was able to sell masks, and many of, yeah, Ricky has one. I think Tallulah has one. I think all of the survivors chipped in, and, you know, as well as my Facebook followers and IG followers. And I was able to, you know, or our organization was able to pay for 1 month's rent, which actually saved her from her eviction until she could actually get employment the following month. So, you know,
I
COVID
was
did
happy to
impact
donate
our.
some
It's a
fabric.
bra. Look at it. It's
Fabric.
a bra.
Oh,
It's
I
a bra.
love that. I need some of those up here.
That's
I'm,
so
I'm,
cool.
I'm gonna send a donation. Send some bras.
Isn't that so great? So great.
Yes.
I always get
Yeah.
compliments on it.
But this year we were back strong, sold out the crowd, was able to raise some funds as well for this year. And I think everything was safe. Everyone really participated the way that they were supposed to, following all the regulations and guidelines, and we had a fun time.
It was great.
And, you know, like everyone said, that outside, my line dance went on outside. So, you know, and, you know, partnering with other organizations, like I do things with an organization that deals with women that have heart disease, Black women, right? I was able to donate lots of PPE to that organization, and 2 other organizations that deal with domestic abuse and women. And these are opportunities where I give shower cards too, right? And information on how to do self-breast checks. So those type of opportunities allow to align myself with organizations that are like different from mine, but enabled me to touch much more people, much more women, and much more men, because it's just not women that I give this information out to.
Wow, this is so great, you guys. So, you know, when I started Touch, I deliberately called it an alliance, not a foundation, because I felt like it was so important for us to all be in the same sandbox and like have a big house where we all can like hang out and bring all of our stuff together to do this work together. So this is like such a blessing to hear what you're doing. I'm so proud of all the work that you're doing. And I feel like, you know, we're touching people, and we need to touch more people, you know. And I put in the chat too, if you have an organization that you want us to talk about or showcase or be in our family, email us, you know, info@touchbbca.org. And I put all you guys' websites in the chat. Does anybody want to talk? I mean, we have, you know, we should be closing soon, but if you want to talk, say something.
I wanted to come
Go ahead.
back around.
Yep.
And I am not Sharon. I said earlier that I'm standing in for Sharon, and I'm doing her
That's
no
okay.
justice.
We love Sharon. We love Sharon. We
Yes.
love
Sharon, and you're
Sharon
doing fine.
is amazing, and
Yes.
I have been blessed to be her workout partner and serve as a volunteer with her organization for several years. And she is such an inspiration. Every morning when she texts me to get up to go to the gym, I cannot refuse to be there because she's so inspirational. I've seen her go through some challenges during the pandemic because, of course, she provides packages to people in person. And because she has not been able to do that, I've also observed her counseling and giving a lot of people resources by telephone, a lot of people who were just really stressed about what to do. I've seen her get calls of, you know, where do I go? What do I ask? What are the questions? And she was more than willing to prepare them to ask the right questions to the doctor, to have the right people in the room. And so she was able to get around being able to be there in person with the packages by being a resource to people who called her, who were really stressed, who didn't know anywhere else to turn here in Richmond, Virginia. And then the blanket drive, which she's kicked up again, and it's on its way right now, providing blankets to go into the hospitals. And Sharon is so creative. And so where there is a will, there is a way. So there are times when some places won't allow her to go in. She's very creative about getting those blankets to those patients. She's going to get those blankets to those patients. and they really appreciate them. And so if you all would just keep her in your thoughts and prayers, because she never thought that someone in her family would reach out to her and say, hey, I need help. I think I have cancer. And so for the last couple of weeks, she had been burning the candle on every side, day and night, spending time at the hospital with them every day, asking the doctor questions, just being that voice for her family member where they can't do that themselves. So I just really wanted to give a shout out to her and the work that she's doing here in Richmond, Virginia. She has a great big heart. And so I'm just honored to be able to stand in and sit in for her tonight.
That's great. And she's our poster child for clinical trials. You know, we
Yes.
her
We know her
every
well, we know her
time
work.
to talk about clinical trials, but she, you know, no is never the answer. It's always how. You know, you guys are all living our hashtag. You know what that is, right? GSD.
Get stuff done.
Get it
Tia,
done.
tell me about these Rice Awards. I've been seeing, I've been voting and clicking and voting and clicking every day. What's the Rice Award?
Yeah, so thank you so much. So the Rice Awards is a big thing in Georgia or in Atlanta area. It's for those who are doing good in the hood, as I would say, or doing good in the community. And so we were actually nominated this year. Stacey Abrams is also on the ticket. So I'm like, this is an honor for us to actually have been selected. So we're in the nonprofit of the year category, but the caveat, of course, is you have to vote daily. So please vote. You have till November 28th to vote. You have to vote daily. So get out your phones, your computers, tell your friends. It doesn't cost you a thing. But this is just, it's really good to, be recognized by the community that you're serving. So thank you.
Can I just share one of the other things that the Thelma D. Jones Breast Cancer Fund has done is when we look at how breast cancer is occurring younger and younger, particularly in African-American women, we did a pilot program with 6 cheerleaders at Richard Wright Public Charter School in Southwest to train them as junior ambassadors. The school was so impressed with the training that they've asked us to come back and train their entire 12th graders, and then to train the parents at the PTA. So that is some of the impact that we're having in trying to change, to educate more young women and men about breast health. And as we think about triple negative and metastatic breast cancer, on Wednesday, December the 15th, the Thelma D. Jones Breast Cancer Fund Support Group will feature as guest speaker Deltra James, that many of you may know.
Been on our show. Yeah, we love Deltra. Great.
And thank you, Ricky, for connecting the two of us. She will be our guest speaker, she's triple negative and metastatic.
Yeah.
And
5 kids, 5 girls, 36.
5 daughters. And then we'll have Marissa McKeever Esquire from Sibley Hospital, the John Hopkins Center, speaking and telling about what Sibley is doing. And then we'll have the lovely voice of Cecily Bombray, who is many of you have heard on our program.
Great. Ramia had to drop, but she says goodbye and thank you to everybody.
Yeah, I was going to piggyback off of what Ms. Jones said. So we actually, as part of the Breast Health Matters program, because remember I mentioned it's about transforming generations, we have an ambassador program as well. So the girls who actually go through the program, they can be ambassadors and they actually get, things to help them as part of their, as part of being an ambassador. So if there's anybody who's tuned in and they're interested in it, and it's not just for Atlanta, it's across the nation. And this is part of, what Tallulah and I have done, reaching out into the community to really educate the young girls. And I think we've educated thus far, probably over 100 girls. And part of that, the spin that we have on our program too, because we incorporate the clean beauty at the end of the program, they actually have an activity where they do a DIY, where they get to make their own, clean personal care items. So it's exciting.
And when actually we launched a pilot here in Prince George's County, and what happened too is we tied in our friends over at Cherry Blossom and took the girls and their moms over to get bra fittings, as well as gave them we did this virtually, but we were able to give them their little swag bags and make it a little special, them becoming these ambassadors. So it was great. So we look forward to doing many more. We got several planned that's coming up. So we're excited about that.
Yep.
And when Tia mentioned about the young students making the clean packages, I should mention that on Thursday, December the 2nd, Dr. Aaron Spicer and Dr. Tracy Bethea will do a presentation on healthy homes for the holidays. Right. So they will make great suggestions on what we can do to just make simple changes to ensure that our homes are healthier, and they'll talk about personal care products. So I hope everyone will tune in on that as well. That's virtual.
Yes.
I love all of this so
could
much.
Go on all night with all of your stuff. So send us all your stuff. We'll put it in our newsletter too. And like put it out there. But wow.
I would just say and anticipate donations as far as volunteers and getting you some of the support that you need. Many of you are collaborating with the local colleges and universities, but I can tell you those health science programs, those pre-med students, they all need hours, they need service activities, they need connectivity, they need to see Black and brown faces and hear our stories. And those are great places to reach out for folks to do social media, health literacy, interns, things like that. So definitely, as you expand your programs and figure out creative ways to make this happen, reach out to those students, even in their pre-nursing students, all of them. They are so excited to get involved and to get some experience in this. And it looks great on their resumes, and they're very savvy and they can help. Trust me, I had an intern who's been helping me with my social media because I still call it the Instagram. Do reach out, and then think about, from the corporate side of things, if there are patients in pockets of community that don't have access to things like internet and high-speed Wi-Fi and things like that, how can we help and partner to get people the connectivity that they need in these communities? And I know Comcast has been great about that. And so maybe there's some opportunities for us to leverage in our different areas. There's the need. Here's the zip code. Here are the people. We need cable. We need internet. We need Wi-Fi. What if COVID happens again and ramps back up? How do we stay connected with our breasties? And so looking at ways that we can collaborate with that and make sure that people have access, because in person might be a little bit tough through the winter time, but virtual has been really helpful for a lot of people in a lot of ways. And then if there's anything I can do, anything at all, you let me know and I will do it. If it's within my time and my schedule, my talents, you are welcome to come up to the farm. I have this farm here in Pennsylvania for wellness. So if you want to grow something, do something, teach something, reach somebody, you just say the word and come on up, because we so appreciate all of your unique approaches to this thing. Yeah. It's like a diamond, and it's so beautiful because there's so many different facets to what you are doing for the patient to show them that they are truly a gem and that they matter. So we love you and we thank you.
Dr. Mo and Ricky, I think as a navigator, I keep hearing all this, and a lot of times our patients don't get this information. So even if you reach out to your local cancer centers and find out who the social worker is or who the nurse navigator is, so this information can be filtered to people that otherwise would not know about this information. Honestly, they need it. There are people that walk through our cancer center, they don't even know that they can get support on any level. So just hearing all of this just makes me think, so how can I filter this to patients that otherwise wouldn't get it? So cancer centers are one piece, but then also our faith communities. I mean, after the preacher prays the prayer, because we go to church and we tell the pastor we've been diagnosed, and he prays, but after the prayer, then what's left? What's next? But wouldn't it be wonderful if he could hand that person information about each one of the organizations? So then not only is he praying, for them physically, but emotionally, and they know that they're leaving with something in their hands. So Ricky and I have talked about something that we can do to help our pastors after the prayer. And so just hearing all this just gets me really excited about.
Yeah, we're building a new website that will launch in a couple of weeks, you guys. And so we're going to put all of you on the website, and anyone who wants to provide their resources to put on our website so they can link directly to your sites and get all the information. So I think we better go. We're gonna get in
Yeah.
trouble, right?
Yeah. Wow. Well,
You
we
guys
put
are
all of
awesome.
your organizations into the chat on Black
Everything-
Doctor.
yeah,
You can
we're
share
covered.
this, repost it in your groups, on your individual pages. Look out for hopefully a newsletter that comes out after this, or a one pager that can be distributed to churches and places. And then if you have ideas for collaboration, hit us up.
Bring it,
Because you know,
bring
we're stronger
Right
together.
here.
Live
We
it.
Stronger
absolutely
together.
are.
We're stronger together.
Yes, I love that.
Yep.
No one fights
We love
alone.
you.
No one fights alone. We put all the websites out there too, Thelma. So
Okay.
thank you, thank you, thank you. You
Thank
guys
you.
have an awesome
Thank you.
Thanksgiving. I gotta go
Thank
back
Happy
to
Thanksgiving.
Well, happy
Happy
Thanksgiving to
Thanksgiving,
all of
everybody.
you.
For you guys.
grateful, grateful, grateful. Where's Hezekiah?
Thank you, Ricky.
Freedom,
Ricky,
right?
we doing our
Right.
There it
Breastie love.
is.
Breastie
Breastie
love.
love, we gotta do it. Don't forget to vote. My Style Matters, price for it. It's in the chat every day. Gotta vote for it. We
That's
love you
right.
all. We hope it's
And
been
and
relatable.
thankful and grateful to each one of you in this
Uh-huh.
season of thankfulness.
Yeah,
yes.
Don't eat too much turkey. Or
I
whatever.
promise that, girl.
Right, plant-based, plant-based. We love it.
Breastie.
We hope it's been relatable and reliable and
Right.
real. That's what we do
Yes.
every Wednesday. We'll see you
Yes.
next week. The doctor's
Thank
in.
you.
Doctor is
All right.
in.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.